Building a Starfinder character from the beginner box. Welcome to RPG ABC. My name's Landon, and I'm going to be diving into the Hero's Handbook here and building a Starfinder character. Basically just from this. I haven't read ahead. I don't know exactly what I'm getting into. So I've already done this with Pathfinder 2nd edition sort of thing. I do know it's like page 15, I think. And I did struggle with that character creation. It took like an hour, and I skipped a lot of parts, especially spellcasting. I skipped. But let's go ahead, jump into Starfinder, and see how I deal with this. And yeah, maybe people will enjoy it. So creating a character. It's time to build your own first level character. What character do you want to play? A dashing envoy, a brilliant mechanic, a wise mystic, a crafty operative, a mighty soldier, a cunning technomancer. Do you want to be an android, a human, a lush hunter, lush hunter, a siren, Sharon, a vesk, a yazoik? I'm guessing the Y is silent, so it's just like Soki or something like that. The choice is up to you. Every step of the way, the book will tell you what you need to write down on your character sheet and where you need to write it. Just follow the steps in order. And already I'm really liking this, where step 1 is choosing your race. Not like instructing you to create this fantasy in your head that then you try to replicate. Just, pick the options that look the coolest to you and get to the point. If you want to build that fantasy, you definitely can. But step 1, just picking a race. So we have android, human, the ones I mentioned, Lush Hunter, Sharon, which looks like to be an insect type thing, a Vesk, which looks to be reptilian, and a Yosiki, which is a mouse-looking thing. I know I'm already leaning towards Android, but a couple of these do look really cool anyways. But let's take a look. Android, you are quick thinking and resilient. Androids can see in the dark and don't have the weaknesses of biological creatures. I love that. Lesh Hunter, you are well-educated and magic naturally flows through you. Lesh Hunters have telepathic powers and a minor natural spellcasting ability. Okay, I did skip over human, let's read that. Human, you are skilled and versatile, and your motivations are as unique as you are. Humans learn fast and start with more new tricks than any other race. That's cool. That's really cool that humans have that. I gotta disagree about learning fast, because when you're an android, you just download the information, so that's a little weird. But anyways, Sharon, you are a fiercely independent but also dedicated to the idea of community. Sharons have telepathic powers and operate well in the dark. Okay. Vesk, you are tough and powerful with a hardy physical makeup and iron determination. Vesk are strong and harder to hit than other creatures. And Yosoki, you are small and nimble, and you often use your agility to your advantage. Yosoki are smaller than other creatures and can see in the dark. So a lot of these can see in the dark. And yeah, I'm still leaning towards Android. That just sounds the coolest, although, like, these other ones I could definitely see playing in campaigns and having a lot of fun with. They just feel a little bit more fantasy adjacent, and I want to go more sci-fi adjacent, and Android just screams that to me. So, let's see. Go to page 20 and choose your race. So we've already kind of chosen just from that, but here we'll at least get a little bit more information. So, races. Starfinder is a game about adventuring on alien worlds, but also a game about playing aliens and exploring what that means. You can be a synthetic android, talented human, a telepathic Lashanta, Man, I'm going to mispronounce these constantly. An individualistic Sharon, a mighty Vesk, or a nimble Yosk. I think that might be the best pronunciation, Yosk. That might be it. I don't know exactly. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. Each race is different and has its own unique abilities and challenges. Choose a race. Your first step in creating a character is choosing one of the following 6 races. Each race has unique traits that give your character advantages while adventuring. Some of these racial traits mention game concepts that are explained later, but your race doesn't limit any of your other choices, so just choose the one you'd most like to play. Movement speed. One thing all these races have in common is that they have a movement speed of 30, though abilities and equipment you gain later may make you faster. So in Block C, here we go, let's get on camera. Block C, write 30 for your speed in Section C. So already it's telling us what to write down. So C, speed, 30. Surprise 30 feet all around, especially since a Yosk is like a rat-like creature, very small, and that's not being punished like in 5e, how like gnomes have less walking speed or less speed than other creatures, you know, like because they're smaller. Like I don't really love that mechanically speaking. Mechanically speaking, I think people should be pretty much even in those sorts of things. Having a disadvantage like that where you can't move as much, it really needs to be outweighed with other things. So let's move on. We chose android, so I'm going to read through that. Not going to read through every race, or this is going to take way too long. Androids are complex technological creations crafted to resemble humans. Originally a servitor race, androids have since... servitor. Blah, blah. Man, I am struggling to speak today. Today is a day off for me, and my brain has just turned off. Broke free to form their own society. Androids have independent consciousnesses and are animated by souls. As constructed beings, androids have no biological need for gender. While some strongly identify as male or female, others shift fluidly or ignore gender altogether. Android names, here are a few: Asha, Blue 17, Eminem 3, Flick, Garno. Just a very large variety of different names. Constructed. You count both as a person and a machine. You don't need to breathe, and you don't take any damage from being in a vacuum. References the Game Master's Guide, page 36. Dark vision. You can see up to... Here. I forgot to... Down here. Right there. B, write android as our race. Okay, so B... Race, android. Pretty easy. So here it says E, write your racial traits in Section E. So Section E, racial traits. And we can just write down constructed. Constructed. Dark vision. Going to put in parentheses 60 feet. Flat effect. You find emotions confusing, including your own. You make a -2 penalty to interaction skill checks, and others take a -2 penalty to interaction checks involving you. Interaction. Here we go. So... It doesn't have something to write down there, but I'll go ahead and add it here. Again, with this section, I'm a little sad that the writing space is so small. As a new player, what does constructed mean? I wrote that down when we first started playing. It's like a session or two later. What is that? It's been weeks since I wrote that down. If you play weekly, 2 sessions later, it's been weeks since I wrote that down. What does that mean? Let me refer to the book. Like, trying to negate referring to the book as much as possible, I think, is a real useful thing for games. If anyone's ever played a ton of board games like I have, one of the worst things to happen is middle of the game. Is that how that works? Let's double check in the rule book. 5 minutes later, after the guy's flipping through the rule book, okay, it says here, I finally found it, it says this. That doesn't answer the question. But, informs something that might answer the question. And then you got... So just let's, add in a little bit more space so that people can write these down and have at least shorthand information, but some information. I haven't looked at the pre-generated characters of this beginner box yet, but hopefully they have that. So I'm just going to write this down. Flat, effect, and in parentheses, -2 to interaction. Maybe we'll add this down here. I'm just going to write it down. It's pencil. I actually have a pencil this time. Interaction just in the music, -2 from the flat effect, And then we also have upgrade slot. Your constructed nature allows you to install one armor upgrade directly into your body. You must still pay for the upgrade. You can swap it out for different upgrades when you get them. That's really cool. I like that. Upgrade slot. Yep. Come on, brain. I know it was a day off, but you still gotta think a little bit. Upgrade slot. And again, that's a little bit too much to write in that blank spot, even in parentheses. So it's just something that you'll have to remember, and it would be great to be able to write that down if it has long-term effects. I don't know if an upgrade slot has that long-term of an effect, or if it's just, like... It talks about one armor upgrade. It's limited to armor upgrades, I guess. So is it just like, is it replacing something else? I don't know. So, but we wrote our information here. So after you write down your speed, race, racial traits, return to page 14, as it says right here. So let's go ahead, go back to page 14. 2, choose your theme. And I'm guessing theme is similar to background here, where, we have, like, some certain skills we're coming into this adventure with. So let's go through them. First off, we have Bounty Hunter. You track and capture those with a price on their heads. Bounty Hunters are skilled at operating in the wilderness and identifying criminals. Icon, you are famous. Icons are skilled at identifying other well-known people and interacting with members of society's upper crust. Mercenary, you are a professional fighter. Mercenaries are skilled at understanding military matters and engaging in physical activity. Outlaw, you are a dashing lawbreaker. I like a dashing lawbreaker. And don't play by the rules. Outlaws are skilled at understanding the criminal underworld and sneaking around. Priest, you are an agent of the gods. Priests are skilled at understanding religious issues and comprehending magical phenomena. Spacefarer, you are a star traveler with a wild sense of wanderlust. Spacefarers are skilled at understanding a wide range of sciences. Honestly, I thought a android with that racial trait of they're not good at social cues, being an icon would be kind of funny in that stance, but I really did like the bounty hunter aspect. That seems kind of basic. I almost went Spacefarer here. Again, that just seems a little basic. So, you know what? Let's go icon. Let's be that famous android, That just seems fun. So let's do that, right? Let's just do the fun thing. So page 24. Here we go. Icon. Right here. Thanks to interstellar transmissions and drift travel, the galaxy is smaller than ever, and this connectivity has facilitated your ascension to celebrity status. You might be a famous performer or celebrated scientist, but either way, you can be recognized easily in the packed worlds and in associated systems. Your reason for traveling to unknown worlds might be to further spread your acclaim or to escape the limelight. Icon knowledge. So, I think this is where we're going to start writing stuff down here. You have an extensive insight related to pop culture and entertainment industry in the lives of other celebrities. You gain a +5 bonus to culture skill checks to recall knowledge about other icons of your culture or information about the company's agencies, laws, and best practices regarding the entertainment business and pop culture in general. Class skill. You gain culture as a class skill, and it's at a +5 bonus to culture skill checks. So I'm just going to, over here, write +5, and in class features, going to write culture. You gain culture as a class skill. So, yeah. I did kind of skip things, so let's go back up to themes. Sorry about that. Choose one of the following 6 themes. Your theme can help you flesh out your backstory and drive your decisions when adventuring. Your theme also gives you a bonus to specific skill checks, and it gives you a class skill. You'll learn more about both these when you select your skills. For now, pick the theme that best presents your background. If you want your strong vest shoulder soldier to be a priest, great. If your Lashunta mystic is a bounty hunter, that works too. In section B, write your theme. In section I, down here, find your theme's class skill and write 3 in the class box and 1 in the level box. Write your theme knowledge. Whoa, what? Find your theme's class skill and write 3 in the class box. So, culture 3. And 1 in the level box. 1. Write your theme knowledge at the bottom of that section. Your theme knowledge is icon knowledge. Right? So, yeah, that was class, not theme. So, class skill, you gain culture as a class skill. Man, I am very confused about this right now. I wrote what they said. Well, in B, I didn't write my theme. Icon. Theme knowledge. Yeah, it says on here, class skill, right? And you come over here, and this is skills. There's class features, and so I guess in skills, class 3 + 1, but here it says gain +5 bonus to culture skill checks to recall knowledge about certain things. So I guess that +5 is only in certain situations. So +5 culture situational. Went out of the box there, but that's all I can think to do. Little bit confused about that aspect. The fact that we're in themes, it's mentioning class skills, and a class is something that we're gonna pick soon. So, yeah, that's just a little confusing. Having 2 things called the same thing is a little confusing. But let's continue, see if it clears up as we go. So page 15. So choose your class is the next thing. So for classes, we have Envoy. You are a master of tactics and the art of making friends and intimidating enemies. Envoys can bluster their allies and impose penalties on their foes. Mechanic. You combine strong combat abilities with a thorough understanding of technology. Mechanics can tear things apart as well as put them back together. Mystic. You are an adept at drawing magical power from a specific connection. Mystics combine spellcasting with abilities to heal allies or harm foes. Operative. You are a master of stealth and deception. Operatives can make their way into places others can't and use subterfuge to their advantage in combat. Soldier. You are a master of combat. Soldiers specialize in either melee or range combat, but they do significant damage regardless how they fight. Technomancer. You can combine magic and technology. Technomancers use their own knowledge of arcane forces and technical acumen to weave powerful spells. Okay. So a lot of these sound really cool. I had the idea, just reading through this, of like I could go mechanic, and the way that I'm an icon is like I'm the mechanic for like a racing team, and I'm kind of going out on my own because this racing team got kind of full of themselves and everything and thought they could do it without me, and I'm like, you know what? Fine, then do it. Or I could go operative and be like a James Bond sort of thing, and with my android abilities, I'm able to like process information really quickly and kind of adapt new personas. Already, I think I'm preferring the James Bond sort of thing and going operative. So let's go ahead. We'll do operative here, and the icon is just like I am that well known in the spy, field that it grants me certain benefits, even though, like the memes say, wouldn't like a spy everyone knows be a bad spy? This is kind of taking that and playing with that idea of like, I'm so well known, it grants me certain things, even though people know who I am. And, it's supposed to be a master of stealth and deception. Like, I don't deceive in the fact of lying about who I am. I deceive in the fact of lying about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, So I kind of like that idea. So let's go page 36, right? That's what it says right there. 36. Oh, there we go. Operative. You have the skills to complete any mission, that requires stealth and discretion, from espionage to infiltration to high-profile robbery. And look, it looks like they're an android here too, so yeah, perfect. I like to think maybe you can like download and hold viruses inside your body, and when you get you can upload them directly when you get into a base or something. You can then upload directly from your body into the computer, removing the virus from yourself and injecting it, and that way you don't have to carry anything with you in order to deliver that virus, if that makes any sense. Although it could mess with you, a DM could have fun of you can totally do that to hide, to not carry something, and that means when they pat you down and they check you, they won't find it, but it's going to mess with you. You have a negative to this or something during the mission, and that could be very interesting to play with. So we're going to go with operative, because the more I talk about it, the more I'm really enjoying this idea. And so first level class features. B, write operative in your class section in B. So B is up here, class, we are going operative. Operative. In section D, write 12 for your total hit points and mark the light armor proficiency. Also write the following numbers in the class box for each saving throw. So we gotta find section D, defense. Here we go. Total hit points 12. Nice. Mark the light armor proficiency. Oh, there we go. Light armor. Also write the following numbers in the in the class box for each saving throw. So saving throws, class box, here we go. I like that they have pictures of the boxes. However, it would be very useful if these pictures actually matched the pictures here, or the actual sheet here, to have the boxes laid out that way. I'm sure they couldn't because of page layout, but it would have been extremely useful to just be like, oh, okay, just like this. Because now I have to go fortified save 0, fortified save, find the class box, okay, I put 0 in that. Okay, you know, and it's a lot of like trying to transpose information rather than just copy it over, which is a lot quicker and easier. So, yeah, just, you know, thoughts, food for thought, whatever you want, you know, to think about that. That's fine. In section G, write 0 in the class boxes for both your melee attack and your ranged attack. Also mark the following weapon proficiencies. So in G, melee attack, we get +0 in both those? That's terrible. I would have figured we would have at least like a plus in ranged combat or something. And then also, mark the following weapon proficiencies. Basic melee, small arms. Where do I find that? So I assume in G. Is it down here? Weapon proficiencies. It's basic melee. So I like that. Close quarters sort of combat. And small arms. Small discrete weapons. I like it. Being an android, maybe I have like a small silenced pistol in my finger or something like that. So when I do finger guns, I'm actually shooting someone with a silenced shot. How cool would that be, right? Oh man, I'm loving this idea. I need to find some people to play Starfinder with. Hey, join the Discord if you want to play Starfinder with me. So, in section I, write 3 in the class box and 1 in the level box for each of the following class skills. Okay, there's 6 of them here, and I need to write 3 and 1. If one of these skills already has these numbers filled in because of your theme, add 1 to the mystic box instead. Okay, so athletics, which is first one here, 3 and 1. Culture. Okay, we already have that, 3 and 1. So, because those are already filled in, we add 1 to the mystic box instead. So it was just a 1 there. Perception. Down here. 3, 1. And again, it would have been nice to have this layout more resemble this. Like, I would have loved to see like a full skill sheet and just the numbers written in there. Again, probably space, you know, on the page and everything, but just would have made it a little bit easier to transpose this, because, you know, now it's like stealth. Okay, let me find stealth. Luckily, these are in alphabetical order. Probably, you know, would be nice to have a note there, like skills are listed alphabetically or something like that, just to help people out. But stealth, 3, 1. Survival, 3, 1. And technology, 3, 1. As an android, I would hope I'd be good at technology, you know? Alright. So, it goes up 2nd level, 3rd level, 4th level. I like how, it, like, kind of walks you through additional levels and everything. Helps you out there. So, I do like that. As a new player, or as someone that does DM too, I am questioning, like, I need to read up more on the system, definitely. I haven't done any of that, but I really should, and I'm wondering how much of this is guided information, how much of this is forced information, if that makes any sense. Guiding a level up, just recommending ideas to players, or is this is everything you have to do on a level up, no choices or anything in the full game sort of business. So, you know, just a little question I have there. But let's go ahead, finish up with level 1. You know, even then, it says in there. So I'm assuming this is just helping with level up, but yeah. So specialization. You have a primary area of expertise. Choose whether you want to be a nimble ghost or a perceptive thief. You can you gain the skill specialization listed below for your choice. Ghost, you specialize in clandestine missions and can move from place to place without being noticed. You gain the following skill specializations: athletics and stealth specialization. You gain a +3 bonus to athletics and skill checks. Action none. Thief, you specialize in acquisition from quick swipes of complex heists. You gain the following skill specialization: perception and stealth specialization. You gain a +3 bonus to perception and stealth skill checks. Action none. I'm going to go with thief. I like thief. So write your specialization in section F in class features. Okay. I'm surprised it's not like up here in character information. It's just down here. Thief. Okay. And add your skill bonuses to the appropriate mythic boxes in section 1. So that's +3 to perception and stealth. Alright. Operative's Edge. You gain a +1 bonus to initiative checks and skill checks except the 2 skills in which you are specialized in. See above. So write Operative's Edge in section F. Section F. Operative's Edge. And record your bonuses. See, I'm a little confused by that. You gain a +1 to initiative checks and skill checks. So all skill checks, I get a +1? And where would that go? Would it be in Mythic? Miscellaneous? And where's initiative? Okay, initiative's up here. So I get a +1 to initiative checks. So there's a 1. And I guess I get +1s to the miscellaneous section? Maybe? So the -2 that I get from flat effect becomes a -1? Now, I added that in. It did not tell me to put that there. So maybe it shouldn't be there, but I don't know. It just seemed... Okay, so what? We fill in 1 here, and do we add it to... Well, no. It says not for those that we are specialized in. So I guess we just get 1s there, we get 1 up there, although it didn't tell me that initiative would be in C. And, like, it doesn't tell me to... So, yeah, this is one area that I'm struggling a little bit with, Operative's Edge. I hope I did it correctly. I got rid of the -2 from flat effect to interaction. It didn't tell me to put it down there, so I got rid of it. But it seemed like an effect that just stuck around, that wasn't dependent on certain things like icon, +5 to culture in certain situations. The -2 to interaction just seemed kind of generic. It also applies to allies, though, so that was pretty bad, but, you know, you gotta deal with some bad with some good. I'll move on, though. Trick attack. When you make the melee attack or ranged attack action with a basic melee weapon or small arm, you can first attempt a stealth skill check with a DC of 20. If you succeed, you gain a +2 to your attack roll. If your attack hits and you deal damage, you also roll 1d4 and add the result to that damage. Even if you fail the stealth check, you can still attack. You simply don't gain a bonus to your attack roll and don't add any extra damage if you hit. That's really cool. Seems odd that it's just like, when you do this, you can first... No, yeah, it just seems like anytime you attack, you can roll for a stealth. If you make the DC, which is set here, you get to attack. So, seems a little strange. I wonder if the DC should be set by the opponent that you're fighting, maybe? I don't know, but it's just DC 20. That's more game design chat than what I'm doing here. So, let's just add in section F, right, trick attack. And again, trick attack is something that is so detailed that, like, you're gonna have to reference that again and again, you know. What skill is it that I roll? Right, it's stealth. Okay, what's that DC again? What number do I need to hit? Oh, it's 20. Okay. And what die do I use? Is it a D6? No, it's a D4. You know, like, there's a lot of small things. Oh, and +2 to the attack. I even forgot to mention that. Yeah, so... So, yeah. Now you have your first level operative abilities. Go to page 15. So we'll flip back. I'm really liking the James Bond-esque android that we're building here. So we did our class. Now we're moving on to generate your ability score. So already, I have an idea of what my character is based on these selections I made, and that is going to help me inform my ability scores, where in the Pathfinder 2nd edition beginner box, it talked about ability scores as like step 2. And I found that very strange, because it's like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be good at. But through this building, I can go, oh, I'm supposed to be good at perception and stealth, so wisdom and dexterity are gonna be important, you know? So it's helping me inform the character as I build it, rather than having to come up with that perfect concept. So, yeah, if you watched my previous video on Pathfinder character building, you'll understand what I'm talking about. If you haven't, go watch it. I think it needs a few more views. Anyways, so... abilities and ability scores. You have 6 ability scores, which are numbers that represent your raw talent in physical and mental tasks. The higher your ability score, the better you are in that category. Each class also has a key ability score, and therefore you are likely to want a high score in that ability. The 6 abilities are as follows. Strength. This is how strong you are. A high strength means your melee weapons deal more damage. Soldiers who focus on melee combat have strength as their key ability score. How well you can crush a tomato. Dexterity. This is how agile you are. A high dexterity means you are better with ranged weapons and harder to hit in combat. Operatives and soldiers who focus on range combat use dexterity as their key ability score. So we are going to be using dexterity as a key ability score. That is good to know. How far you can throw a tomato. My friend told me about the tomato thing, and I think it's a well-known thing in the tabletop role-playing game community, but I don't know. You know, I don't hear it too often. I hear occasionally here and there, so I don't know how many people know. But yeah, how far you can throw a tomato. Constitution. This is how tough you are. A high constitution means you have more health and are better at resisting physical stress and exhaustion. Intelligence. This is how smart you are. Oh wait, constitution is your ability to eat a tomato, I believe. Intelligence. This is how smart you are. A high intelligence means you get more skills. Mechanics and techromancers use intelligence as their key ability score. Intelligence is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom. This is how aware and intuitive you are. A high wisdom means you are perceptive. Mystics use wisdom as a key ability score. Wisdom is knowing not to put a tomato in a fruit salad. Charisma. This is how persuasive you are. A high charisma means you can talk your way out of trouble and influence people through social interaction. Envoys use charisma as a key ability score. I forget what charisma is for the tomato. Oh well, if you know what I'm talking about, comment down below. I'd love to hear it. Ability score arrays. There are 2 ways to generate ability scores. The fastest way is to select one of the arrays on the following page. The focused array, the split array, or the versatile array. Write the numbers from the array on a piece of scratch paper. Alternatively, you can roll dice to generate ability scores as detailed later. Is the as detailed later on this page? Because I'd love to roll them, but if that's not here... Okay, rolled ability scores. Yep, we got it here. We're going to roll because we got a camera, we've got dice. Might as well roll, right? So, the focused array. Use this array if you want to focus on one ability score over any other. Split array. Use this if you want to split your focus between 2 ability scores. Versatile array. Use this if you want to have modest bonuses in several different ability scores. I like this. It kind of, tells new players, like, if you're looking to build your character like this, here are some ideas on how to use, like, what numbers to use for these scores so that they can, put numbers where they want and all that stuff. I wish it went a little bit more into detail here, but I still like that idea rather than like standard array in 5e where it's just like, here's a bunch of numbers, put them where you want, like, and not as much not as much context there, but focused array. Okay, so if they're going to be focused on one thing, I want to do this, where it's at 18, 14, and 10s and all the others. Okay, so 18, that's the highest one, needs to be where I'm focused. Split array. Split between 2, still 10s and everything else. Okay, I kind of get that. Versatile. Okay, if I want to be more mid-range, good at everything, but not great at anything, that's what I want to do. So, it gives some ideas. But rolled ability scores. You can also roll ability scores rather than use one of the 3 arrays above. This gives you a more random set of numbers, which some players might find interesting. Roll 4d6 and add together the best 3 numbers. Writing the result on a piece of scratch paper, do this 5 more times so you have 6 numbers ranging from 3 to 18. If your highest ability score is a 13 or lower, or if all your ability modifiers, see step 5, add up to +3 or lower, you can re-roll your ability scores. Just go through this step again until you get ability scores that meet these minimum requirements. So I do like this. So let's see. I have 3d6. I do have the Bob dice though. So I'm gonna close this, shut it down. Jeez. I've got a piece of scratch paper here. I've got my Bob dice, which is a metal die, so I'm going to roll that one separate than the other 3. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to roll these 3 plus that 1. Alright. So that's 4, 2, and 6, dropping the lowest. So that is 12. Alright, let's do this again. Oof, couple of 1s. It's going to be low. And a 2. Yeah, that is low. That is 9. Yeah. Okay, a couple 5s and a 2. Not bad. And another 5. 15. Beautiful. And this is honestly probably the way I would go about with new players. New players in particularly, I find they want to do something. And just telling them to write down numbers is not as much fun as rolling dice, It's a little bit longer, and it can be a little bit more complicated. But as a DM, if you take that time, they're going to have more unique numbers. And that's going to lead to situations where they're going to be learning a little bit more, Where, especially with all the 10s there, probably going to be +0s. That's not as interesting and it's not as informative to a new player of what these scores actually mean. So that is a little bit of game design talk there. 5, 5, and 3, not bad. And a 6, so we're at 16 with that one. Awesome. We're doing pretty good so far. We've got 1 medium, 1 middle, or 1 low, and 2 semi-high. So 5, 4, and 1, and a 5. So 14. Okay. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 1 more to do. Okay. Let's see. Bob dice for the win. 4. So that's 6, 4, and 3, so 13. Okay, we got fairly good numbers here. I'm pretty happy with everything that we got. And it looks like we're going to be pretty good. We do have one dump stat, but everything else seems pretty good to me. So let's go back. We've got our numbers here. Man, you can barely see that on the camera. I'm sorry. Maybe I can... There you go. There you go. So 12, 9, 15, 16, 14, and 13. Those are the numbers that we got. So let's flip back. It was like page 17, 16, 16. Assign ability scores. Once you have 6 ability scores, whether from an array or from rolling, assign 1 score to each of your abilities. You can assign any score to any ability. You should put your highest score in your class's key ability score, as detailed below. Honestly, with this being for new players, I would almost suggest having like squares, kind of like the proficiency here for armor, next to all the ability scores, and have the player mark their key ability score. I know that doesn't really affect any gameplay, but it's information for the player that they don't have to memorize, you know? So they can just look at their character and be like, oh, I specialize in stealth. I'm going to try to do more stealth things than other things. Or dexterity. I specialize in dexterity. So, what can I do that's dexterous, you know? What is dexterity? And they try to embody that a little bit more. And I think that could be useful. So, an operative's key ability score is dexterity. You should put your highest score in that ability. So, write your ability scores in section A. Ability scores are over here. Okay, interesting. So, first off, we want our dex to be 16. That's our highest. I do kind of want intelligence and wisdom to be pretty good. So, I'm going to go 15 in wisdom, 14 in intelligence. And we are famous. So, we got to have charisma be 13 here. And depending on what James Bond you really enjoy, Constitution might be your dump stat, but I'm going to go with Strength being the dump stat here. So Strength is 9, and that leaves 12 to be our final one to go into Constitution there. I say that because some James Bond that I've seen, I haven't seen all the movies, haven't read any of the books, some are they can take a beating. I mean, Daniel Craig's James Bond, I feel like can take a freaking beating, you know? And that's Constitution, less Strength. Although there's that one shot of him busting through some drywall, that would be more Strength aspect. But I really wanted to capture other elements here, so we're going with Strength as the dump stat. So, record your ability modifiers. Your ability modifiers are numbers based on your ability scores. You add these numbers to or subtract them from many of the dice rolls you make in the game. Use your ability scores and the table below to figure out what your ability modifiers are. When you see an abbreviation such as STR, DEX, CON, INT, WIS, or CHA, it refers to your ability modifier, which will be between -4 and +4, not your ability score, which will be between 3 and 18. And then it's got this chart here to explain what number from your ability score becomes your ability modifier. And this is one area that every big RPG that I've played, 5e, Pathfinder, Starfinder, mostly 5e, I have the biggest issue with, because it just seems so arbitrary, you know? It's just like they want the numbers to go from 1 to 20, so they have these ability modifiers that then you derive from those ability scores that they want to go from 1 to 20 for some reason, you know? So, because it's a 20-sided die, that kind of stuff. But I feel like this could be simplified. But let's go ahead and fill this out. So 8 to 9 is a -1. Dexterity, 16. So 16 to 17 is +3. So we have +3. Constitution's 12, so 12 to 13 is +1. Intelligence is 14. 14 to 15 is +2. Wisdom is 15, so that's another +2. And charisma is a 13. 12 to 13 is +1. Alright. Add up your resolve points. Your resolve points represent an intrinsic reservoir of grit and luck that allows you to carry on even when all seems lost. To determine your total number of resolve points, add 1 to your key ability score modifier. Our key ability score, so this is another aspect where it would be nice to have a box here to mark our key ability modifier. So that's 3, plus 1, we're looking at 4. There are 2 primary ways you can use your resolve points. One is to regain hit points during a 10-minute rest, see healing. The second is to rouse yourself from unconsciousness to continue fighting, see death on page 84. That's really cool. You regain all your resolve points after 8 hours of rest. Write your total resolve points in section D. Section D, resolve points, so we have 4. I'd love it if it was like total, parentheses, key ability score +1. You know, something like that. I wonder if that +1 is your level or if it's just +1 always. I feel like it would be weird if it was +1 always. It would make more sense if it was plus your level, but I don't know. I would have to read more to find out. Step 7. Choose your alignment. Every creature... Sorry, I don't have this on screen. Every creature has an alignment that indicates its general morals and attitude. It's mostly just shorthand for what kind of person your character is. Choose one of the following. Lawful good. You combine honor with compassion and an appreciation for rules that protect everyone. Natural good. You believe in doing what is good and what is right without bias or for or against law and order. Dun dun. Chaotic good, you combine a good heart with a free spirit and appreciation for liberty. Lawful neutral, you are reliable and honorable without being devoted to doing good deeds. Neutral, you act without excessive prejudice or compassion. Chaotic neutral, you are free from society's restrictions and the strict ethics of do-gooders. I think lawful neutral is the correct thing for... Like James Bond, he does what he's told. I mean, not always. That's how stories go. But I think starting off as a super spy, you are lawful neutral. Because you do have a set of codes that you follow. And those codes aren't always set by you. So, yeah. So, write your alignment in section B. So, section B, alignment. We are lawful neutral. We do what we're told, and we don't really think about it, We follow the rules that we're presented with, and we don't really look at the good or bad aspects of them. Alright, quick pick steps for 8, 9, and 10. The next 3 steps let you further customize your character. If you'd rather have a set list of skills, feats, and equipment based on your chosen class, see the class suggestion section on the top of the next page. You'll need to turn to the pages indicated by steps 8 and 10 to make sure your character sheet has everything you'll need to play. Man, I should have brought a drink. So 8, choose your skills. Skills are things you can do like climbing, pursuing people, and treating wounds, bypassing electronic locks, sneaking around, or swimming. While you can usually attempt any of these tasks, you'd be better at some skills, represented by having a higher total bonus, skill bonus, other than others. But don't worry, your allies also have skills they're good at, and they may be able to help out with tasks you're not strongly suited for. So go to page 46 for your skills. Alright, come on. 46. Yeah, it's been almost an hour. That's why I am feeling the way that I am. Skills, so... Okay. Whew, boy. Are these all the skills? Skills. Whether you are a battle-hardened soldier who can freeze a foe's blood with a glance, or a glorious envoy who can deftly navigate any social situation, or a brilliant technomancer with knowledge about every subject in the galaxy, skills represent some of the most fundamental abilities. The Starfinder Beginner Box uses 10 different skills. Below is a list of each skill and its most common uses, also called tasks. Skills at first level. At first level, you can decide which skills you're especially good at. Choose your skills. At first level, your class, page 26 to 45, tells you which skills are your class skills. Your theme might also give you other class skills you're quite good at using these skills. At first level, you choose one skill, 2 if you're human, to be your trained skill, representing your further investment in specified abilities, knowledge, and talents. You can't choose a skill that's already a class skill. You can't choose a skill that's already a class skill. You're better than average at using a trained skill. Note that you can use a skill you can still use any skill even if it's not your class or trained skill. It is just harder to succeed with the ones that aren't in your wheelhouse. Whew. In section I, write 1 on the level line of your trained skills. So we've got all these skills. Is this just these skills here? Is that what's going on? So we pick a skill and we're trained in that. Technology, survival. And it can't be one that we already have a 1 in. Is that right? Okay. So all this is nothing. So we need to pick one that we're not already trained in. So we just pick one skill here in the level line that we don't have a 1 in, and we write a 1 in there. Is that right? I think that's right. We already got 1 in almost everything. I'm going to put 1 in interaction there because I'm James Bond. Man, now I want to watch James Bond movies. What's your favorite James Bond movie? Put it in the comments. Maybe I'll watch it. I've watched a few. Daniel Craig, I've watched a few of his. I haven't watched all of them. So I've watched a few. But, yeah. So add up your total skill bonuses. Your total skill bonuses come from adding up the following modifiers and bonuses. Do this once for each skill. You'll change it only when you gain new bonuses, or for class and trained skills when you gain a level. Okay, so these are 1 because, and it's level because they represent what level I am. That would have been good to know early on, because a lot of people, at least in 5e, don't start at level 1. Even with new players, they're like, no, let's just jump ahead. Maybe they'll start at 2 for the first, small bit, and then second session they're level 3. Or they'll just start at level 3 because that's where the fun starts, so many people say. And really, that's a failure in game design, in my opinion, but, I understand what's going on there, and I would just want the fun immediately. But it would be nice to know that this is 1 because that's our level. That would make it very simple, because then this changed from level to trained or something like that, and trained is plus whatever your level is, so that informing the player more than just putting this number here sort of thing. I know I kind of go in between those two, but copying down information is good, and the reason why that information is being filled in there is also good. So, yeah. So, ability modifier. Each skill is linked to an ability modifier. Use athletics. Athletics uses strength, interaction uses charisma, so on. Class skill bonus. If your skill is a class skill, you add +3. Trained skill bonus. If the skill is a trained skill, you add your level. There it is. There's the explanation. Wish it was sooner, but here we are. Mystic modifiers, your race, theme, equipment, and or feats might give you bonuses or penalties to your skills. If you are Surin, you gain a +2 to culture and interaction skills from your culture, fascination, racial trait. If you're Yosk, you gain a +2 to stealth, survival, and technology skill checks from your scoundrel racial trait. If you're Ish Hunta, you pick any 2 skills, you gain +2 to bonus to those skills from your student racial trait. In section I, write an appropriate ability modifier for each skill, then add up and write down your total skill bonus for each skill. Okay, so the way that this goes, like from right to left, I understand that way your total's there. So, strength is -1. Intelligence is +3. Charisma is +1. Intelligence is +2. Wisdom, we're just copying information from here down to here. Wisdom is +2. Perception, which is also wisdom, +2. Intelligence is +2. Dex is +3. Sorry, I messed up here. That's supposed to be a +2. Intelligence is +2, yeah. Wisdom is +2, and intelligence is +2. So I've got lots of pluses. I do realize here that Dex only affects stealth in your skills, and that seems weird. So we now add up the totals here. So athletics here, we have -1, but then 3, 1, 1. So we've got 4 in total here. 4. Culture, we're +2, 3, 1. Again, this information is making me think that I should be adding the flat effect. I won't currently, but just know that this 1 might actually be a -1. So this is a 2-point swing. Kind of a big deal in my opinion. But 2, 5, 6, 7. Interaction, 1, 1, 1, that's 3. Medicine, 2, 1, so that's 3. Mysticism, 2, 1, so that's 3. Perception, 2, 3, 5, 6, +3, that's 9. Really perceptive. Science, 2 and 1, so that's 3. Stealth is 3, +3 is 6, 7, +3, that's 10. Nice. Survival, 2, 5, 6, 7. And technology, 2, 5, 6, 7. Beautiful. So I do like the array of bonuses in this skill area here. I didn't really see how different this would all be until we added up all the totals, and now we see lots of different numbers here, which makes rolling more interesting for every skill that you might use. Return to page 17 to continue building your first level character. So back to 17, huh? 17. Choose your feats. Feats are special abilities or tricks like throwing together defensive barriers from whatever materials are at hand, knowing how to hit 2 enemies with 1 swing of your plasma sword, or being resilient to mind control. Some feats improve or modify your combat abilities or skills, while others give you whole new abilities. Go to page 52 for feats. Alright, so feats. Feats are special tricks or talents that let you do certain things especially well. To help make your character stand out from other adventurers, all characters start with at least 1 feat, and every character gets another feat at 3rd level. Some classes also get extra feats as they level up. Feats at 1st level. At 1st level, you choose 1 feat unless you selected the human race, which, in case you choose 2, if you're sure, you get the blind fight feat for free from your blind sense racial feat. The pictures next to a feat's name show you the pictures. Oh. Which classes that feat especially works especially well for? In section 8, write your feat or feats if you're human or Shern. So, H, feats, right there. Return to page 17 to continue building your first level character. So it kind of is weird that it tells you to return before, here. So here it's like write down your feat or feats, but you still need to choose your feat, you know? So we're just going to go with the one that is, or one of the ones that is for an operative. Is this continuation of it? It looks like it. Far shot, fleet, great fortitude, improved initiative, nimble moves. I do like that one. Medical expert, minor psychic power. Minor psychic power could be fun. Man, that's lame. Nimble moves is just you're not affected by difficult terrain. I mean, I can see where that's really good, but I don't find difficult terrain comes up enough for it to matter. I really wish they would do a little bit more with that in other RPGs I've played. Obviously, I haven't played Starfinder, so yeah. Oh no, that's too far. So let's see. We've got toughness, spellbane, which is kind of cool. Medical expert, which is if I was building this with a group, I would more likely pick medical expert because I like that group dynamic. I usually play a healer. Which, speaking of which, I don't think any of the classes talked about healing in their description, which is interesting. Come on. This is a long video. I know. I'm almost done here. I'm just going to go with Spellbane. I'm resilient to spells, which is partially what makes me such a good super spy. Of like a lot of people who try to use magic to protect what they're trying to keep secret, and I am, being an operative, good against that. So I'm going to write in feats Spellbane. Spellbane. And the benefit is prerequisite unable to cast spells. Interesting. Well, it hasn't told me to cast spells. I don't think I can. Benefit, you gain +2 to saving throws against spells. +2 to saving throws against spells. That's not any of those, so I'm just going to write it in parentheses. +2 saving versus spells. There we go. It's interesting that prerequisite is unable to cast spells. Does that mean later on, if I am able to cast spells, I lose that effect? That's interesting. Here we go. Number 10. Equipment includes any gear you use to make yourself a better adventurer, including crucial items such as weapons and armor. If you have enough money, you can buy any of the equipment in this book, but you may not have the knowledge or training to use it. Okay, and then finishing touches there. Class suggestions. Okay, we didn't look at that. I wonder if it... Interesting. Okay, go to page... I guess up here it tells you that, doesn't it? Yeah, on the next page. Yeah, so we didn't look at that. Equipment include... Yeah, I read that. So page 56. We are so close to being done. Equipment at first level. At first level, you start with 1,000 credits. Nice! The standard unit of digital currency. You can spend credits on armor, weapons, and other equipment. Most adventurers want to buy at least 1 or 2 weapons, 1 suit of armor, and a smattering of adventuring gear, ranging from flashlights to ration to tents. While you won't be able to afford most magic items at first level, it's worth considering buying a healing serum or 2 for emergencies. You can keep any credits you don't spend. They're stored on a cred stick, any kind of small computer that does nothing but track and store your money. As you gain more credits as payment for jobs or taken as spoils or spoils of war from defeated foes, you who meant to harm you, or who meant you harm. You should consider buying better, more expensive equipment. When you've chosen equipment, note the following things on your character sheet, and then return to page 17 to continue building. For this, I think we are just going to flip back to the gear. So in section D, you write your armor, any armor upgrades, write your armor class bonus in the armor box of your armor class. In section G, you write your weapons along with any weapon fusions, including grenades. Along with your statistics, you'll accumulate each weapon's total attack bonus later. Write other equipment and any remaining credits in section G. Okay, so if we just flip all the way back and take the recommended, right? Operative. After buying the following, you have 7 credits remaining. Beautiful, that's the information I want. So, credits. I don't know where we write credits, but we buy a second skin. Second skin. Weapons, laser pistol and tactical baton. That's awesome. I'm also getting, what's her face? Amy Pond from Doctor Who, but in MCU plays Nebula. There we go. Nebula vibes from all this stuff that we're doing. So weapons. Where was weapons again? Weapon. Okay, so we've got 2 weapon things here. So beautiful. We got a laser pistol. And we've also got a tactical baton. Other equipment. Where do we write other equipment? Let me guess. Watch. Equipment. Here we go. Backpack. Cable line, field rations, doesn't say how many, toolkit, blanket. Why a blanket? Well, I guess this is for operatives, not for androids. But we're going to take it. Canteen. Med patch. That sounds cool. And 4 healing serums. Nice! Oh, we have 7 credits. So, 4x healing serums. Beautiful. So I feel like we need to go into more information with all this. So if we go back to 56 here. Okay. So like second skin gives us a +1 to AC. So there's a 1 there for our AC. We get +1. Right? Heavy armor, light armor, armor upgrades. We haven't gone into any of those. Melee weapons. Here we go. We have a tactical baton. Here it is. Off screen, but here it is. So it's a 1d4 kinetic. Total attack damage is 1d4. kind of low. Okay. Oh man, I totally messed that up. Kinetic. Kinetic. Range, melee. This is in the wrong section. Dang it. Melee. Sorry. I know watching me erase isn't that much fun. But there we go. Special property, none. Critical hit effect, none. This modern update to the club is solid metal and 2 to 3 feet long, with a rubber handle and a loop to make it easy to hang from a belt or wrist. It is a common emergency melee weapon, and is often carried by city police and private security forces. I like to think there's like a compartment on my leg that pops out with the baton, and I just grab that, you know? I'm an android. I do cool stuff like that. Also, a laser pistol. So these are melee weapons. Small arms. I think a laser pistol would be a small arm. There we go. Laser pistol. Another 1d4. That's too bad. So, 1d4. Fire. Range 80 feet. Special property, none. Critical hit effect, none. A laser pistol fires a beam of coherent light that can burn through targets. It is among the most common sidearms, often carried as a backup option by characters who primarily use different weapons. So that's not great. The fact that like both my suggested weapons just weren't that interesting there. Adventuring gear. So I want to kind of go into some of this stuff here. Maybe there's information. Canteen. Meet your needs for 1 day. That's not great. Blanket. Med patch. A med patch is a single-use slap-on medical device that can bandage wounds and apply antibiotics to stave off diseases and infections. Use a med patch allows you to attempt a single medicine check. Okay. So I guess we only get one of those. And 4 healing serums, which would be... where? Meh. Restores 1d8. Healing Serum is a magic fluid that, when imbued, restores 1d8 hit points. Healing Serum is single use. You can drink a Healing Serum. So that is 1d8. Now I do wish, like MedPack, it said one of, when I was looking at information and whatnot. I think that kind of stuff would be useful. But anyways, this is my character. I'm going to go to final touches now. I got all the information. This guy is going to be ready to go if I am able to jump into a game. This is probably what I'll play. So finishing touches. Now you have to apply some quick finishing touches. Number 1, Section B, write your character's names, pronouns, and level 1. Next, level box, write. Okay, 1,300. Okay, so name, pronouns, we'll come up with those later. So level, and next level, 1300. 2, write your ability modifiers from Section A in the ability modifier boxes in Section C. So Dex is +3. There we go. Something else to do with Dex. And our total would be 4. Right? I think so. D, let's see, Dex there. Awesome. So +3. So that's 1, 3, so 4 plus 10. We're looking at 14. Cool. Also here in saving throws, so con is +1, reflex +3, wisdom +2. So fortitude save is just a total of 1. Our reflex save is a total of 5. Our will save is a total of 4. And G, so strength is -1. Melee attack is -1 total. Ranged attack +3. Nice. Total is +3. So I think that applies to these total attacks here. So total attack, this is ranged, so it's +3. This one is melee, so it's -1. Yeah, not great. And I think it's this. I think we already did that, though, so that's all added there. 3, add up your total initiative in C. So we already did the total. In step 4, in section D, total, add your con to your total hit points. Oh, okay. Our con is +1, so it's 13 hit points. That's all. And add up your armor class and your total saving throw bonuses. I just did that. In section G, add up your total melee attack bonus, your total ranged attack bonus, and transfer the appropriate number to the total attack bonus box for each of your melee and ranged weapons. We did that. Awesome. Grenades are ranged weapons as your total range. Add your strength to the damage of your melee weapons. So our melee here is -1. Yikes. So it's 1d4 -1. So 1d4 -1. And it's kinetic, right? Okay. It's a little messy, but I can deal with that off camera, because this is almost an hour and a half. Holy cow. I am so sorry. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you did, you're awesome. 6. On the back of your character sheet, write a brief description, appearance, including their gender, if any, height, weight, all that stuff. And that is it, isn't it? That's done. We are done. Let's get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. If you really stuck around through all that, I appreciate you. I really do. Write down in the comments, name ideas. I also mentioned Bond films, so I can go ahead and watch that for some inspiration. And anything else that you want to mention down there, go ahead. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you like what I'm doing here, and join the Discord if you want a chance to play Starfinder with me or any other tabletop role-playing game. And that is it for now, so I'm going to go in and rest for a little while. This was a big video, but I got it done. So happy about that. And until next time, keep rolling dice.